to the Killtocraft Podcast, episode 26. I am Vanessa. I am from UK. I am from Yorkshire. Hello, if it's your first time watching, thank you for popping by, and if you are a returning viewer, then hiya again. You can find me on Instagram as Nessa Townley, and you can also find me on Ravelry as Killtocraft. And you can find show notes on the Ravelry Group, which is Killtocraft Podcast, and I also try to update them on the blog, but not always do I have time, so sometimes they get put up really late, so you best check in the Ravelry for that information. Today's episode, I haven't got a great deal, I'm not gonna lie. It's not that I've been busy with certain things, but we have had a massive heat wave over here this week, and it's been a little bit claustrophobic and humid, and so not much knitting has been really done, so I have no FOs. Work in progress is really slim, but I will share with you what I have done, and I've done a bit more spinning this week and a teensy bit of sewing, so you're gonna be palmed off with a shorter episode, I'm sure, this week. So I am sorry about that. Sorry. Because it has been 2 weeks. But the first week I'd been spinning a lot, and with it being Tour de Fleece. And then the second week, I don't know, I've been in a bit of a knitting slump recently. But then with the weather, that's not really going to help either, is it? Because I'm not going to want to pick up any knitting. So we had a really big heat wave Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday was the worst. We were actually warmer than LA. We were like 33 degrees in the UK, and it was stifling hot, to the point where I actually booked half day and left work because the heat was so, like, you could feel its presence like weighing on you, because it was that warm that I couldn't sit in that office with the fans on any longer, because the fans was just pushing hot air around. Nothing was cooling you down, and it just wasn't nice. So I came home to just lounge, basically, because there wasn't anything that made me feel any better. So this week is kind of been one of those weeks where people have been saying, oh, you shouldn't moan about the weather, and I'm not moaning necessarily, but what I would like to say is I prefer personally a slightly cooler warmth, so with a bit of breeze maybe, but what I would prefer overall is a summer that's warm, still with a cool breeze, but if we could just see the sun. Like today it is boiling, but there is no sun. It is grey, pretty much. I would much prefer a cooler summer, but with a bit of blue sky and sun. That's pretty much my perfect summer. I don't need blistering heat to be happy in the summer, like some do. But anyway, apart from the weather being a little bit hard to bear, I have had some lovely things sent, which have arrived to me today, which is really sweet, that I want to share with you. And I've had some lovely people donate things for the I Heart Bees Kal, which is super exciting. So first we have a pattern prize which has been donated by Agatha, I think her name is. Hiya! I will put her information at the bottom of the page, because I don't want to get her Ravelry design store information wrong. I want you to be able to go over there and check out her designs, because they're absolutely stunning. And she sent me a lovely message this week and gifted me a couple of patterns as a treat, which is really kind of you, so thank you very much. And she also offered a pattern of your choice to you guys as a prize for the I Heart Bees Kal, which I think is really generous, and her designs are gorgeous, so gorgeous. It took me a week looking over her patterns because she kindly asked me to pick something that I really liked, and I couldn't decide. I kept going back and forth between a few of her designs that I really loved, and she does a few cardigans and a few sweaters, and all of which are really nice, and it was really difficult. She's also got quite a few shawls as well on there. But anyway, if you go over there, show your support to Agatha, and if there is something that you really like, just grab it, because it's totally worth the prices that she has on her patterns. They're gorgeous. And the yarns as well. This is something that's quite nice. The yarns that she uses are quite affordable yarns, I thought, like Malabrigo yarns especially, which I really like. And I think that's quite nice, because sometimes when we have designers that design on Ravelry, they tend to use a large quantity of really expensive yarns, and I personally love those yarns, but I also personally am slightly on a budget when I think of purchasing yarn. And so it is nice to come across a designer that has picked something that is more acquirable to design her patterns in, because that also means then that it's really easily accessible for you guys to go out and buy the same yarn to create the same look, if you will. And I really like that about Agatha's pattern designs. So please go out and check that out, and obviously I will put that prize up as possibly a second prize. So I think that would be a really nice second prize for a winner to receive. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit warm. I'm going to take a little sip break. So, the next thing that got kindly sent to me, which arrived today, was from lovely Katharina. Oh god, I am rubbish with names. I am so sorry. Katharine, I'm gonna say, and I'm sure it's Katharina. Looking at how it's, I'm just gonna pop the information at the bottom, because I'm stumbling now and it's hot and I'm getting a bit frustrated with myself. Has sent me, here's her information in fact, if I show that up as well, of, I think it's Libby's yarn. I'm sure that's how you say it. Please correct me if I'm wrong. This is really cute actually. She sent me a little sample with her card. This is Dark Space, which is 71% superwash wool, 24% nylon and 5% stellina in a sparkle base. Look how gorgeous that is. Super pretty. And she sent me a whole box of goodies. And she sent me a kind note saying that I could pick whichever I wish for me and whatever I wish for you guys for the I Heart Bees Kal. And I'm thinking it'd go perfectly with the bag from Eldenwood Craft. So I'm going to show you, first of all, she sent me a skein in her sparkle base again, which is the same as the little sample. She sent me Little Fairy, 400 meters, 100 grams, and I think this is super cute. Look at that, they're super sweet. I love the mauvey colours, and then these little speckles of like yellows and blues and reds in there. Super sweet. I really like that. I might be keeping this one. What I love about this yarn, in fact, is I'm going to make a whole mess of this, and I don't know if you'll be able to even tell, but it's quite a woolly yarn. It's not like usual sock yarns, like hedgehog fibres, or I'm trying to think who else. I think hedgehog fibres is a good example. Oh god, nobody's gonna want this now, I've made a mess of it. But anyway, it is a very woolly yarn. It kind of reminds me of British wools. I'm trying to think of a really woolly wool, but that's going to be sturdy. And this one is her sock base, and this is Ooh La La, which I think is really pretty. I like this one very much. I love the colour as well, it's quite rich. So I might put this in the gift giveaway bag for future, maybe, we'll see. But this is 75% superwash wool, 25% nylon, and this is 400 meters, 100 grams. I don't know, this just reminds me really much of a woolly texture. Like usually a lot of sock wools are really smooth, tend to have quite a thin base. This is really plump, really woolly yarn to most sock yarns. It's got a gorgeous, like kind of a heritage, traditional woolly feel. It's not like most sock yarns out there, and I think that's really lovely and really warm. These are going to be amazingly warm if you actually make socks with them for the winter. They'd make great boot socks, really great boot socks, and I love this. So that's another skein that she'd sent. But this one, this one is going to be perfect for the giveaway prize. She asked me for some suggestions of what I may like shade wise out of her Etsy store. So I went and had a check, and I thought that this colourway was perfect for the I Heart Bees Kal. And I know you guys will be winning something that's kind of on the theme of bees, even though you've just created something on the theme of bees. But this is her Sweet Orchid colourway, also in her sock base. I couldn't resist this one for the prize giveaway, because look how gorgeous it is, and it actually looks like orchids and flowers, I think, like petals. Excuse me, my alarm just went off, so the recording stopped. So I think this is stunning, and I think it'll go really nicely, wait a minute, with the Eldenwood project bag. And I also have another little something to add to this little giveaway, which is something I picked up about a month or so ago at a shop in Scarborough. And I picked this up, and I know that I just loved it for the cover, but I'm not going to be really using it. So I'm going to include also this bees notebook. So you're going to win some lovely little things here, and it's going to be a really nice prize selection. So thank you very much for sending that to me, Katharina. These are absolutely beautiful, and I hope whoever wins these will enjoy them just as much as I do, because I think they're stunning. This is just beautiful. I love the colours in this. They're amazing. Look at those blushy shades. Really sweet. the colour, the sun is making it a little bit blown out, but as you can see it's a little bit more of a yellow shaded kind of yarn. I love that. So thank you so much for sending me these, and I will very much be enjoying the little fairy colourway. I think I will definitely be making socks with it because I think they'd look amazing as boot socks or just any socks really. I think they're gonna look amazing, and I'll let you know when I start making them, and I'll send you a picture. Well, I can send you a picture. I'll be showing them on the podcast, I'm sure. So thank you very much for sending me this. Really much well received, and I really enjoyed getting this package today. I am making a mess of this. Oh, no, I've still not got it right. I'm sorry, I'm not messing about here. I'm just trying to get this game to look a little bit more presentable. I don't think I've managed quite well, but here we go. So that's that one again. So that's beautiful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to put these in the piggy bank, or the World Piggery gift bank. I'll put those back over there. And she's also sent us a lovely gift of a coupon code for her Etsy store, which is all capitals Nessa 10, and I'll pop that up here as well so that you don't get confused, and it'll also be added in the show notes. Excuse me. This is for a 10% coupon, and it lasts until the 30th of September 2016. So go over there and check her shop out, especially if you like sock yarns, hand-dyed, sparkle bases, general sock bases, and woolly feeling yarns, because you'll love them. Next on my agenda is knitting whips. So I haven't really done much, but I will share with you what I have done. So far this week I have knitted a couple of sections on my scrappy socks because these have been a long-term project, and I decided I really shouldn't make them a long-term project because then I just don't work on them. So I added a few more repeats onto these. So I added some scraps of this gorgeous like corally twisted yellow. This was from Friends Lean. And then this gorgeous cute pink scrap that I had left over from my blanket, and this is one of the minis that Andy sent me. So I've added those into my scrappy sock, and this scrappy sock I decided is going to be quite neutral, softer shades, and then I'm going to start another scrappy sock that's going to be full of the bright shades so that my bright colours can get used. And I really love how this is coming out. I kind of feel like it's like layers of ground. If you ever look at like books and they go on about archaeology and things, and they show dinosaurs in the ground, and they show the different levels of layers of earth and the different kinds, I can't remember what they call them, but the levels of ground, it kind of reminds me of that, and I really like it. Just need a couple of fossils lying in there. But these are lovely, and I'm doing this from this Handmade Lives. I think her name is Olivia. I'm doing these from her Every Flavour Being scrappy socks. And if you want to find the pattern, you can pop over onto my pattern page and find these and go over and look at her pattern, because it's lovely. And I'm keeping this little project in my bigger project bag, which is from Luli, of Shop Luli on Etsy, Lee does some amazing project bags, and I'm loving this for my scrappy socks at the minute because it's got these pockets. So here is the grey that I'm using for my cuff, and then this is holding a magic ball of yarn that I knotted together, then figured out that I didn't like the knotting process and decided that I'm just going to unravel them, cut them apart, and I'm just going to thread in the yarns, sever them in. And then I've got in the bottom a big bag of scraps that I'm going through gradually, which is why I kind of wanted a substantial bag. But yeah, this is perfect for having all the extra bits thrown in there. And it's such a nice sturdy bag. I think I mentioned this before, but Lee's bags are amazing, so please go over to Shop Luli on Etsy and check them out. They are super sturdy, the fabric is nice, it's a highly good quality bag is what I'm saying. They're amazing, and I love the fabric. Look at the cats, they're so happy. Next project that I worked on ever so slightly one night, I got a little bit frustrated that I hadn't worked on much, and I decided to do a few more rows on my crochet project. I only did, I think, the pink and the cream, or maybe just the cream, so I haven't done an amazing amount. I've done about four rows, but it's getting slightly bigger ever so slightly. But this project has actually been quite a good project to work on with the heat, because the cotton and the silk, which is almost, it's kind of it's not a soft silk, it feels more like a silk tape. It's a little bit like a linen almost, but these haven't been making my hands sweaty, so these have been perfect to crochet on. So I think I'll be working on that a little bit more over the coming weeks if I get a little bit bored and fed up with myself. And I'm crocheting this on a 5mm which it asks for, and I'm using the Knit Pro black crochet hook, which is super nice to work with. And the pattern as well, because I'm failing to speak about it, is the Tannery Falls pattern from Pom Pom Quarterly, which is this. It's gorgeous. I'm getting along quite well with it, but I have to count each row and the amount of stitches that I've added and check that and make sure that I haven't failed. So it's taking a bit of time to do, but it will get there. Then over the past week or two, we've had Tour de Fleece going on, and I managed to finish up this beginning of this week. I managed to finish up my Spin City Neptune bat. Yay! So I got this finished. This is a DK weight, 249 meters, and there's 111 grams. It's my little yarn baby. But look at the colours, it's absolutely gorgeous, and I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to make with this at all, but I'm in love with it, so we'll see. This is only my second quantity of handspun yarn that I've been able to, that I've spun, washed and been able to knit, so I'm quite excited to knit this. Then the third quantity that I've managed to spin, I spun this week. I just finished plying it yesterday, and I did that on my Turkish spindle. Unfortunately, I've got nothing new on there to show you, but I did add it into my brother's blanket because this is also a DK weight. I plied it. It came out really thin, like lace weight thin, so I plied it so it was 2 strands, and then I wasn't sure, I think it needed to be ever so slightly thicker to be a fingering weight, so I know that next time when I spin I just need to do those lace singles ever so slightly, a little bit more thick. And I don't know if I've got my book. I sometimes keep notes and records and things in my scrappy book, which has some stickers from places that I bought from. So Fine Fish Yarns, Easy Knits, Lara from Fawn of the Fox, The Farmer's Daughter, Fivers, Oh Holly Oh Hum, and Paws is a band that I really love. And then we've got my Star Wars. My friend Nick Gizmo, Jessica, sent me these elephant stickers, which I really loved. This one came off of one of my parcels from Lara. This is a Yarndale one. Lara also sent me, I think, these ones. I think they came in a package. And then I got these from Paper Chase, which are like little cute cats. I'm silly. But this is like got little samples from yarns that people have sent me, and labels of some of the projects that I've done, some samples from swap yarns that I've really liked, even a tea in here, some Molly yarns I've added in there, some more tea, and a pocket with some I say some, with loads of yarn labels that I haven't stuck in yet. Yeah, and basically I've got a little page that's just a selection of some of the handspun stuff that I've done. So this is handspun from last year that I did a hat out of, which is one of my favourite hats. This is a sample from the first bit of the Spin City yarn I spun up, but it was slightly thicker. It came out at a DK irony weight. I wanted more of a DK weight, so I spun a bit thinner. But that's how the sample knitted up, and I think it was gorgeous. So I kept that. Absolutely beautiful. But then, when I was spinning on the Turkish spindle, I decided afterwards to figure out roughly what my yarn was coming out at. So I took a sample at the end and snipped off my singles. And this was the single. This is it plied twice, and this 4 times. And it came out like this. How gorgeous is that? So I finished it, I knitted it into my brother's blanket, and I added this and the brown square. So it's still super small, but this will be for him at some point. I think I've got it upside down as well. Oh well, and I need to sew in all the ends, but this is for my brother, and I think it's coming out beautifully. So I'm doing him a scrappy blanket for some point in the future, and I hope he loves it. He took kind of a little bit of a liking to mine. He laughed at me sharing it because my family make fun of my, I like to show and tell what I'm doing in my projects, which probably stems from me doing my podcasting as well. I like to share what I do. But he laughed about me sharing my blanket, but then he said that he really did like it, so I decided to make him one for when he gets a bit older. If he ever leaves home, he's got something homely to wrap himself up in, like a bundle of love. So yes, I really enjoyed spinning that, and I used one of the Rolags for the purple Rolags that Fondant Fibre sent me, Debs. She sent me a little selection of random coloured Rolags, which I think are coming out soon in her shop and will be available, and I'm going to get some more because they're perfect for playing around and practicing with. And this is my next colour that I'm going to use on the Turkish spindle. I think I've got 2 of this colour, so I could always do a little bit extra. But I'm hoping to make a 4-ply this time. Hello everybody! It's Sunday and I'm inserting a little video for you guys with an acquisition that I purchased, and I forgot to share it on the podcast yesterday, but felt it was really important because if I get the knitting urge soon, I'm going to want to cast this on. So, last week, this week in fact, it's nearly ended, I received the sock blank from Andre Sue Knits, which is something that I really wanted and got really excited about, and it's absolutely amazing. So if you've been watching Andy on her Instagram page, you will see that she's been dyeing up loads of different varieties of these sock blanks, and they are amazing. This one has stellina in it. And this is Superwash Merino. Superwash Merino, 75%, 20% nylon, 5% stellina, 438 yards, 100 grams. I actually have opened this already, and then I fastened it back up. So I really wanted to show you it all, so I've opened it up so that I can share with it its full glory, and here it is. How amazing is that? Andy's sock blanks are like a piece of artwork on their own right, and they are so cool. Can't wait to see how this knits up. Thank you so much, Andy. I know everybody nearly out there has been snapping up these sock blanks, and you can see why. They're just too cool to not want. So thank you so much. If you want to invest in one of these sock blanks, you can go over to Andy's Etsy store, which is also Andre Sue Knits, and check her out. She does plenty of different kinds of varieties of sock blanks, things with sheep, sloths, gnomes, all sorts. You should just go and check them out, they're just amazing. And I really want to share it with you because, well, if it cools down next week, I will totally have this on the needles. Yeah. My sewing progress, which I kind of talked a bit about on my blog this week. I decided to do a post. This is the York top, which is a pattern from Seamwork magazine, and it's a lovely pattern. Or it is if it suits you. It doesn't suit me, which is fine. We can alter things, but this is it. It's not finished by any means. It's got the bust darts in, got the sleeves in, set-in sleeves no less, so I actually managed to add those in pretty damn well. The sleeves are too wide for a start. I don't like the sleeves being so wide and long. They come down to about here on my arm. Do you want me to try it on? I can try it on. I will briefly put this on. Bear with me 1 second. I don't like the fit. The fit is not for me. The fit, it fits like a sack. So this fit is not for everybody, I'm sure, mind the fact that I've got shorts on. It's like too much fabric here, too much fabric here. I have a relatively small bust, quite a big hip amount. They're quite similar, so I'm kind of a little bit between a straight and a pear shape, I'd say. But all of this, it just looks like maternity wear. It's not flattering to my figure at all. I don't mind the neckline, but the sleeves are too long and wide, and the body is just not nice. It's just not pleasant. And I know if I'd have picked a lighter weight fabric, which it asks for a lightweight or a medium weight fabric. I think it should just say a lightweight fabric, to be honest. If you pick a lightweight fabric, it would have a lot more drape to it, and therefore it would flow differently. And this is something that I know Katie of Inside 23 has mentioned on a recent tutorial to do with the Hollyburn skirt. She mentioned different weights of fabrics, and although it looks great, the fit isn't for me. But I think if it had more drape, it would hang differently, and therefore it would look a little bit better, shall we say. This makes it have a bit more of a frame. It kind of hangs a little bit more sturdy, and so it looks a bit more like a block. So what I've decided is I'm not going to throw it away. I'm not going to forget about it and hide it away. But what I am thinking about doing is adding in some weight in here and nip it in with some waist darts instead. Possibly backhand front, because I took in the side seams to see if that would help the fitting, but there was still so much fabric up front and at the back here that looked wrong. So what I'm planning on doing is adding some waist darts, then seeing what the fit is like, and then maybe taking in the side seams if there is excess that I still don't like or I'm not happy with. Then I'm also going to not only shorten said sleeves, because I think they look a little bit ugly. I think the fact that they hang down here is a little bit wrong. I prefer them to be a little bit more elbow height. But then they have a cuff on. I've decided that I don't want the cuff. If I'm going to do them up here, I don't want a big cuff. It'll make it look bulkier because it's a cotton. So I'm going to put a bias binding on the edge like it has on the edge of the neck, so it's a little bit of a lighter edging. And I'm also going to take in the sleeve slightly, not much, maybe half an inch, just to nip it in a little bit and make it slightly slimmer. I think it'd have a more delicate effect. So we're gonna, basically I'm making this from a really ample excess baggy shirt into a more slimmer fitting shirt. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, and I will share my progress with you, because the great thing about sewing is that although it can take a while to do, and although it's a little bit more expensive than buying from a shop where obviously their standards, one, aren't as high, two, their sizes aren't always correct, and three, their workers aren't always paid well. So although it's a bit more expensive, although it takes a bit more time, you can get a better fitting. Even if you're not keen on something, you can alter it to be however you want it to be, really. And especially if it's bigger. You have plenty of room to make it smaller in whatever way you please. So my next step is to look at how my pattern is drawn up. And I've never really drafted or changed a pattern, but I'm going to look at how it's drawn up, and I am going to carefully figure out and draw. I have a really good book that is not to hand at the minute. It's a really old book, but it has the basics of sewing for everything, and it shows you how to alter your patterns to change shoulders, busts, lengths, darts. And I'm going to, if I know correctly, your waist darts should be in line with your tip of your bust darts, but further down at the waist. So I'm going to have a look, and I'm going to draw onto my pattern an approximate dart, and we'll pin it into this, and I'll try it on, and we'll see how it looks, and I can make alterations, and then we'll sew it in. Hopefully it will go well and I can show you next time my progress. So it is a little bit sad and upsetting, but hopefully it will go more better. Cross fingers, it will go better. Another thing that got sent to me, God, I am losing steam. I don't want to mention her name because I know she might not want me to, but a friend of mine sent me a package today which was intended to get to me a little bit earlier on in the spinning tour, but that's okay because I'm on a complete spinning kick at the minute that I am probably going to go onto this real soon because I'm just, spinning is super fun and I have been looking at fibre and knickknacks and all sorts and I am going mental over spinning. But my friend has sent me a little gift today which I received. She sent me some fibre because I didn't think I got quite enough fibre, to be honest, for the tour, but then you forget that drop spinning takes a lot more time than if you got a wheel. So maybe in the future I will get a wheel. And also I was plying my yarn as I was spinning, which also then made the time doubled. So it actually took me quite a while, so I haven't really dipped into my stash much, which I say stash, it's like a braid and some Rolex. I don't have a spinning stash really, but I can see my spinning stash growing now because I've really got a feel of the spinning. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the experimental side of it. I think it reminds me of when I was at college and university doing my art degree and my art foundation courses. It reminds me of experimenting with paints and oils and colours, and I loved that so much. And this kind of reminds me of it because you're experimenting with thicknesses and different colours and plying and how colours plied together in different ways suit each other and complement, and I'm loving it. I'm really loving it. It's really interesting. But she kindly gifted me, thank you so much because you are a sweetheart, she kindly gifted me some Heavenly Wools, which is from New Zealand, and it's merino wool, 100 grams, and it's shades of ink. And if you haven't checked out Heavenly Wools, then please go over there because she hand dyes these herself. But look how electric and beautiful this is, and it certainly is shades of ink. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. So she sent me this as a gift, which is so lovely. Thank you so much. Such a sweet present, and I absolutely think it's stunning, and I can't wait to spin with it. And I think it's going to be a delight to spin because looking at this, it's going to draft out really quite easily, which I'm looking forward to. I've got a braid in my stash, which I bought last year from Stranded Dye Works, which I'm really looking forward to spinning with, but I've got a feel that I might have to do a lot of pre-drafting before I start because the dyeing process with the fibres can make it felt together and it can make the fibres interlock. But this feels like it's interlocked slightly looser, so I'm quite looking forward to having a go of drafting with this, drafting it up. But the colours are absolutely beautiful, and I have had a look over on this website myself, and the colours are astonishingly nice, that I might have to get myself a treat. Probably after Yarndale now, because I'm saving up for Yarndale. Because I am aiming to go, even though my foot is being a nightmare this week, I am aiming to go and I'm going to take some knitting and have plenty of rests in between my walking around. But yeah, I'm super looking forward to spinning with this. But then she kindly also sent me some little things as well, which I weren't expecting. And I have no idea how to work with these. so I will have to do plenty of research. But Heavenly will also do some silk hankies, and this is the salamander colour. So she sent me this. This is beautiful. I don't quite know how you work with this, or if you're meant to. I'm gonna do some researching into this. If not, it is stunning and soft, and I might just stare at it a lot. But how gorgeous is this? Beautiful. Super, super soft. So I'm going to save this aside, and I'm going to do some research tonight, because what better weather than when it's warm to research into things rather than doing things. Can sit and read with a nice cold beverage. Perfect. And then I also received some alpaca, sorry alpaca locks in different colours. I don't want to drop these everywhere. She said that she gifted me these from her stash, which is so kind of her. But I've never really spun with locks, so this is also something I really need to. But look at the colours; they're so beautiful. I really need to look into and research for definite, because these are gonna be used. They've got to be used. They're beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I'm now wondering as well, when I go to Yarndale, because last year I bought a spinning bat as a treat to get myself into spinning a little bit more, which is what I've spun here. I'm now going to be looking for more spinning things while I'm there, because I know that I probably overlooked some stalls because I picked that up, that I didn't feel like I needed anything else. And I now think I'm going to be looking at those as equally as the knitting stands, which is quite exciting. I never thought I'd actually get into it that much, and I'm even contemplating maybe next year starting to save for a wheel, which will take a really long time, but it might be really worth it as well. And she also gifted me, which is super kind, this 50% silk and 50% merino fibre from Fibre Artemis, I think it's how you pronounce it, which is super soft and stunning. Look how pretty that is. And she said that these are really quite affordable and should be quite affordable with the exchange rate of the pound. So I'm going to check it out, because it's always good to find new stores, especially stores that are in other countries as well, that are reasonable price but aren't undercutting themselves. I find that sometimes it's not that things are overpriced, but sometimes some hand-dyed things with postage are so out of my range then that I can't justify. But look how stunning this is. Oh, and I love the colour. It's absolutely beautiful. Oh, it's like a dream. Oh, it's just heavenly. I don't want to spoil it, so I'm going to put this away carefully back into its little bag. It's protection from my cat face, who is wandering around beneath me. So thank you very much. I always struggle to show how much I appreciate and how much I love anything that is sent to me, like your generosity and your kindness, and I know that you are my friends, so this is just beautiful. And if I ever see something that I think you are going to love, I am totally going to send something your way. So thank you very much. So much love and appreciation. I've made so many friends over this past year that I am so thankful for having, and I wouldn't be without any of you. I find that my friends, my general friends, I don't always see. They have their lives and I have mine. But when you have something in common that is so interesting and sharing, like knitting, brings you all together no matter how far away you are. And I have created so many friends that I talk to regularly on a daily, weekly basis through messages, and even if I don't see your posts on Instagram these days. I get a lot of private messages from a lot of you anyway, and we keep in touch, or we tag each other, and it's just so generally nice, and you uplift my days, especially on bad days as well, but just on any day, you brighten every day of my life. You're all so amazing, so thank you just for being you and being my friends. Thank you. Anyway, I'm gonna start getting soppy because I could really get super soppy, and I don't want to. I'll take up all your weekend. Any general news? I don't think there's been much going on recently. Will got back from being away, which was super nice because he surprised me by coming home early. I decided on Saturday evening that I was going to treat myself to a takeaway, which I'd been planning all week and denying myself. And then on the Saturday I decided, right now, I'm going to have myself a treat. And he said that he was still with his dad visiting, and he was supposed to be coming back on Sunday. So I went out to pick up a takeaway, and when I got home, I was just opening the bottom door to the flats, and I heard this of our engine, and I was like, that's my car. And when I turned round, there's only Will coming up the drive. I was super happy and super shocked, and I ran down there, and then I realised that I'd only got takeaway for one, that I'd still to eat. So, but he wasn't too upset because he'd had a big lunch. Oh God. So I still got to eat my takeaway on my own. But that was like a super nice surprise, and basically he'd messaged me cheekily at the service station saying that he was still with his dad visiting, when actually he was on his way home. And he thought to himself that, oh no, she's going to get herself some tea, what if she's not back when I arrive? I just arrived perfectly as he was coming up home up the yard. So how well timed is that? But that was a super nice surprise, so I was really chuffed to have him home. Other things that I've been doing is watching Gilmore Girls, because it's finally been put on the UK Netflix. I am chuffed. I absolutely love Gilmore Girls, and I was so gutted that America seems to have it on their Netflix, and for weeks we didn't, and now it's there. So I've been basically watching that like every other day. I've been watching a good few episodes and loving it. It's something that's one of my favourites, and yeah, it's just a great, wholesome, family, friend, fun series to watch. Then the next thing I've been watching recently as well is the Strange Things. I think it's called Strange Things on Netflix. If you haven't watched this, it is a paranormal series that's based around the 80s. It's got a bit of an 80s feel to how it is as a genre as well. Like, it's paranormal. It's not like a modern styled paranormal. It still has the 80s feel, which I love. I love 80s films. I love 80s in general. So please go and watch that, because it is brilliant. It's got Winona Ryder in as well, and she's playing a mum figure now. Like, she's gotten to that age now where she's playing the mum role. But I love Winona Ryder, so you should go and check that out. What else have I been doing? I'm trying to think. I've been doing just lots of random things, really. Watching telly, catching up with things. Oh my god, what have I not been doing? Pokemon! I have been playing Pokemon like non-stop this week. I am loving the Pokemon game. I have even been, well, my foot's a little bit sore this week because I've been walking to work, and I've even been tempting fate by trying to walk back from work, and I've possibly been standing around a little bit too much than I should be because I've been enjoying the Pokemon game. So I think next week I might have to take the bus a little bit more and have a few days where I'm not overly excessively playing Pokemon, but I am loving that game. I have got a Pikachu, I have got a Squirtle, I have got a Charmander, I've got quite a few things that I love. I love my Abra, which I have got, and my Eevee. Oh, how cute. All of which I need to try and upgrade, which takes time. Level up. But I've been finding lots of Pokemon and I've been really enjoying it. It's been so much fun. I'm sure my boyfriend thinks I'm stupid when I'm walking up going, gotta catch them all, through town, because I'm like a big kid. But yeah, so I've been enjoying that. I know plenty of other like podcasters have been enjoying it too, like Candace of Pin Feathers and Pearls. She's been out catching lots of Pokemon this week, which has been fun to watch on her Instagram. And Gabby as well, she's been catching lots, so that's quite cool. So yay! Pokemon friends! I absolutely loved Pokemon as a kid when it came out, and I used to have the yellow Pokemon cartridge for my Game Boy, and I used to play forever, for hours and hours. It was so entertaining, and I remember finishing the game and then restarting it. It's great times, real great times. Anyway, it's not been such a short episode, but I haven't had as much knitting as you probably expected, and I will leave it there and let you enjoy your weekend. So I hope you have a lovely time. Thank you for popping by. If you are joining the I Heart Bees Kal, you have still got plenty of time to start the socks, and that goes on until the end of August. I think it's the 26th. So please pop over to the Ravelry Group and come and join in. We've got plenty of lovely prizes for you to participate and to get your finished objects in. And remember to go over to both of the stores, the Ravelry store to check out Agatha's designs, and the Etsy store to check out Katarina's Etsy store and use the code that she kindly gifted us. And that is it. I'm going to get off and see you soon. Thank you all for coming by. Bye.